Hello and welcome to the 121st installment of the Synapse Misfire Podcast. I'm your host, Chris, joined by our other host, Jordan.
It's me, baby.
Jordan, we put this thing on many platforms. What are they?
You can find this debauchery on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Radio Public, Spotify, Pocket Casts, and the RSS feed. All of that's linked below, as well as YouTube.com. We have a video platform on there. It's also on Spotify. You can watch the video there. And we have Instagram and TikTok. You can shout out to us there, watch our shorts that haven't been posted in 6 months, and reach us as well. And we have YouTube comment sections and email, synapsemisfire@pm.me. Send us your comments, questions, concerns, and death threats.
Nice.
Kill us.
Yeah.
Chris, you know what I bought?
What'd you buy? You let me preface this. You pitched this to me at work. You said, I bought something. I'm going to talk about it on the podcast, and I think you're not going to like it. So I'm hype. I'm excited.
Okay. I still don't know how you're going to feel about this one. I feel like you could like it, but I feel like you might not like it. But anyway, I succumbed to my desires, Chris.
Okay.
And we all know, I'm a fan of Bully.
The video game?
No, just Bully. No, yes, the video
fair.
game. The Rockstar video game from 2006. One of my favorite games of all time.
Okay.
Right? So, to preface this story, I bought a PS2 off the Draft Man. Mm-hmm. Lexi's not happy about it. She took away my Dunkin' for a week because now I have a PS2,
what about the
a
Cheetos
PS3.
Popcorn? Did she take away that too?
I still have one hidden bag. Yeah.
He's got a stash of Cheetos.
They made
popcorn.
jalapeno ones. I got them hidden. We're good to go. But she's mad because I got I have a PS2, a PS3, two PS4s, and a PS5 now. So she's upset about that.
You're only missing a PS1.
I really am, yeah. So I buy a PS2 and I buy iNinja off eBay, and then I go back in time a little to a desire that I had mere months ago, and through the mighty power of plastic, I enter in some numbers, and behold, a month later arrived a mint condition, I'm using air quotes, copy of Canis Canum Edum from the United Kingdom.
Really?
Yeah, I have a photo of it. I didn't bring it, but I do have a photo of it.
You know, actually, that's actually pretty neat because, for those who don't know, Bully, they in the UK, they're like...
And Australia, I believe.
Yeah, in those countries, like, those other countries that can't handle words like bully. They thought, oh, this game's going to encourage bullying. So we're going to provide the same video game, but we're going to call it something fucking stupid in Latin.
Yeah.
So it doesn't encourage bullying.
Yeah. So I got that imported. It took like 3 weeks to show up, but I got
That's
that
actually
imported.
pretty neat.
It's pretty cool. It's got the map, the manual, the disc. It's got everything in it. The map's pretty good condition. The case is really, really good condition. The only thing I was like kind of slightly disappointed about, I was like, man, do you think they region locked it? They region locked it.
Damn.
So I was
There's
like,
got to be a way to get around that.
you can just emulate it basically using the disc.
That's what I figured.
But I just wanted to see it more than anything. But I'm not gonna go and bother with that. But yeah, it's a really good condition. I bought it for like $48, so it was a bit pricey, $48 or so. But it was the best condition one I could find, other than someone selling a quote unquote factory sealed, which I'm guessing they probably just resealed for $250.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I could see why you would want the slightly cheaper one.
Yeah, because it's got everything it came with. It's got the manual, the map, and like a warranty card, and it's got the disc. And the disc is like fucking spotless.
Is it still in warranty?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Do you think they have a 16-year warranty on that?
Probably.
But yeah, so I imported that, and dude, I won't. I'll be the first to admit, dude. I got the notification that it was delivered when I wasn't expecting it. I went home and I was hyped, dude. Just for this piece of plastic I can't use, I was like, yes, yes.
Yeah, no, that's neat.
It's pretty sick.
That's a neat piece of like
gaming history.
Yeah, like a piece of memorabilia almost. It could be like, this is how other countries do things.
Yeah.
This is how other countries handle video games called Bully.
Yeah, I love that game, and it's always, since I heard that that had even been a thing, I was like, I've been saying since that day, I'm like, I want one. I want a copy of it.
It's one of those things that, like, you know, buying that, I feel like is a more worthwhile purchase than buying $48 of dumbass plastic figurines.
Yeah.
So.
And I do want to say, I just want to point out the genius of Reddit, just in case people didn't know. I posted a thing on Reddit on r/bully.
That's your first mistake.
When I found out it didn't work, I just had a quick question. I just put, so for quick context, I'm in the U.S. I have a PS2. I imported a copy of the game that's titled Canis Canem Adam or whatever to have as a collector's item. I decided for the heck of it to just try and play it, but the screen goes red, quote unquote, red screen of death. And I said, the disc is spotless. Other games work. Do you know if this is actually a region lock or am I missing something?
Everyone's like, guess you fucking idiot. What are you, fucking stupid?
Someone goes, well, first off, Canis Canem Adam is the European name of the game, so it's not going to work in the States. I said, yes, I figured that. That's why I imported it as a collector's item. Second person says, just emulate it. Cool. And then the third person said, Canis Canem Adam is the PAL version of Bully. PAL is, I don't know, it's the country
Yeah, that's their
code.
region. It's like,
yeah.
There's PAL and there's like some other fucking one for the U.S.
So apparently, Chris, if I said to you, I imported this international version of the game, you somehow didn't realize that I knew it was an international version of the game when I specified I imported a international version of the game. Because every single commenter was like, well, it's not for the States, bro. Yes, that's why my first fucking line is for context. I imported the game as a collector's item.
That's why you asked. That's why you phrased it as in, I imported this as a collector's item, and just for the heck of it, I wanted to see if the disc would work on a U.S. PlayStation.
PS2. And they're like, it's not the U.S.
It's not the US version.
Someone said, I didn't read
and
the fourth.
And then asking, going, is this a region lock, or was there just some issue with the disc? It could have just been, yes, there was a region lock.
Yeah. And the best part is, I didn't even read like one of the fourth comments. I think it got removed. Someone replied, it's called Bully in the USA. I'm on r/bully, Chris. I went to r/bully to ask about this game.
Oh my god.
Like, Chris, I went to the subreddit. I went to the store.
Why I never post on forums or subreddits or anything asking for advice, because it's always going to be fucking useless.
I was so mad. I was just like,
because people genuinely, I feel like 95% of people who respond to these forums are like, they have an IQ in the negatives. Like, they're just so goddamn stupid.
Dude, I tried to be as clear as possible. I tried.
They respond as if reading comprehension was a foreign concept.
Apparently, it must be a PAL version. Dude, I specified it. I thought I had it. I was like, I'm going to ask this question. I'm not going to be one of those guys that goes on Reddit and asks a question where you're like, are you fucking stupid? I was like, let me ask a valid question. Let me give the context. Let me tell them the exact scenario and, what I think. No,
can't do it.
It's not the right version for your country. I wasn't clued in when I imported the special, version. Sorry. My bad. We
can walk back to probably 1,000 goddamn episodes ago when I was talking about how I was having some issue with my at the time I had an Arch install. I had some issue with it, and I specifically went to the newbie corner of the thread of the forums. They have an entire section. I think it's just called the newbie corner. Mm-hmm. And I made hey, this is what I'm experiencing. This worked this way when I was running Manjaro, which is based on Arch.
Yeah.
So why doesn't it work on Arch?
What's different here?
And people were just like, it's not this. No, you're not supposed to do it that way. And saying it worked on Manjaro isn't helpful. Yes, it is.
Yes, because I'm telling you what I did.
It worked on Manjaro. I'm doing the same thing. I edited a couple things. What am I doing wrong?
Answer the question,
bitch.
Answer
the fucking question. Christ.
Yeah.
It's so. I feel like everyone who lurks on these forums to answer questions is they feel like they're the smartest motherfucker on the planet.
Yeah.
They're just. They walk around and they're just full of air. Their head's full of nothing, but they think they just have a galactic brain.
Yeah. Because, I had to research, because I didn't have a ton of experience with the PS2, so I didn't know about the red screen of death. Are you familiar with that?
No.
It confused me, because when I put the game in, it goes red, and it says please insert PlayStation or PlayStation 2 format disc. So I thought to myself, I'm like, yo,
maybe the disc
can
is
I get a
up.
formatted disc to like make this a different version? Is that what it's asking? So I look up like, what the fuck is a format disc? Turns out this is what they call a game. It's just saying insert a PlayStation or PlayStation 2 game. I'm like, okay. So then when I figured out what that meant, I'm like, all right, it's not recognizing the disc. I switched over to a different disc for iNinja. Flawless. I'm like, all right, must be region lock. I asked this question. I just got like giga brain
just
answers,
shit it
dude.
on.
Just like everyone was mad nice about it, but I'm just sitting there fuming because I'm like, dude, it's the like I feel like they just went Canis Tandem Edom PS2 USA. Bad guy. No.
Don't worry.
Like no one read that paragraph. They hit like their AI brain
They
scanned
keywords.
Yeah, and they saw Canis Tandem Edom USA PS2 red screen of death.
And they just started typing.
And then
they just started posting.
Literally, it was like, and we're done.
I feel like one of the worst communities for this sort of thing is Stack Overflow. Stack Overflow exists specifically to ask questions about programming. And anytime you ask any question, because programmers, I'll say this, a lot of programmers are elitist assholes.
I'd imagine so, yeah.
Because everyone kind of does their own stuff. There's some general conventions that you technically should follow. Mm-hmm. But there's everyone kind of has their own flair. And there's not necessarily always a correct way of doing things.
Right.
And there's multiple ways of doing things. And especially when you take into context of like, a bunch of everyone's trying to accomplish a different end goal.
Right.
So when you take in that context, there's different ways of doing things. So anytime you ask a question, which I haven't, but every time I've looked at a thread,
search through it, yeah.
It's like, I'm trying to do this. This is my code. What am I doing wrong here? This is the error I'm getting. And they'll just be like, well, you're not doing this right. Normally, what you would do is you would do it this way, which is like much more complicated, but will save you 2, maybe 3 CPU cycles. So I think you should just do it this way. Or you could import this library from 1993 that hasn't been updated since 1992 somehow. But you gotta import that and then use that. And then it's not going to work anyway because you need to have an older version. You need to have run it on Windows 3.1, and it's not going to work there either. But it's gonna work because it worked for me one time. You got to do it this way because it's the way I always do it.
Oh fuck yeah! They're not very analytical. It's just like, this is how I've done this.
This is what I'm doing. This is how I want to do it. How do I do it? And I like do it this way instead.
Yeah.
No, that's much more complicated. Or I've already written this.
It's funny, too, because those same people that are like, if you're like, that's not what I asked, they're like, well, why are you asking questions? Why are you answering it?
What the fuck are you answering then?
Like, if your answer's not pertaining to it, why even bother answering? Just keep scrolling. Like, just keep going.
Yeah. Go do something else.
Go jack off or something.
Christ.
Like, Jesus Christ.
That's another piece of friction I ran into with my professor. I talked about how in my app project, I did like OBD data acquisition using a Python script that I implemented into my Android app, and it worked. But he was like, "Oh, that's not how you're supposed to use Python." It's like this is the thing: is programmers are like elitist assholes usually.
Yeah.
Well, it's not technically how you're supposed to do it.
I get that there's convention.
I get that, like, you wouldn't do it this way normally. But it fucking works. Yeah. So I don't know what to tell you.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure. That shit's that's annoying.
Or it's alternatively like, I already fucking made this. I already wrote this.
Yeah, it's done, asshole. Like, yeah. Like you just be like, oh, you want to rewrite it? Here you go.
Yeah. you write it then.
Yeah. That shit's fucking annoying. But I've actually seen that too, a little bit. I dabbled very briefly. I just decided to look into the depths of hell on like r/manual transmission or whatever. Or like r/.
I can imagine those guys are the worst.
Like, just to see like what people are doing, like
those
mods
guys have
and
to
stuff.
Be terrible.
Terrible.
I could tell.
Guys like I put this shift knob, and one dude's like, that's not good because that reduces your travel by 4 centimeters, so therefore you're less precise when you're entering your gears. So there's a possibility that you might not fully enter the gear. Guys,
yeah, but I like how it looks.
Guys, like, yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I like how it looks, and their response is just like, kill yourself.
Yeah. Oh, dude, you know what I put on my fucking Christmas wish list? We're doing Secret Santa with Lexi's family and mine or whatever. I put a Spider-Man shift knob.
If I get into the Yaris and you got the Spider-Man shift knob, I'm leaving.
Dude, I'm so excited for it. I put 2 shift knobs. Oh no, I remember the other one. The other one's just a regular, like, not sporty one, but like a much more ergonomic shift knob. Because the one on there now is kind of not that great.
Yeah.
But yeah, then I put a Spider-Man shift knob, so I'm kind of hyped for that.
When I get some more time, I might do the short shift adapter and get a weighted shift knob, but I'm not sure.
I thought a weighted shift knob would feel real fucking nice. Like I mentioned before, though, this gearbox is really sloppy, just being like a shitty economy car. So like, it just doesn't feel great anyway. It'd be really good. I was talking to our boss about like the SI, and he said every SI he's ever driven or like owned. I don't know if he owned one. I know the Giraffe Man owned one and has driven a bunch. They're very like fucking sound gearboxes. Like you just get the nice like.
Yeah, Honda's notorious for having like very good manual transmissions.
Yeah, and like the Yaris is very sloppy. Like you can literally just be like in second, just kind of coasting, and you're just like whittling the shifter around. Like I'm just chilling, just whittling it around.
Well, I mean, there's like I saw a video about this once. There's like some bearing or something, or like a bushing or something in there that you can replace that will fix that.
Yeah, it's likely just worn because it's 230,000.
But you gotta take the whole fucking thing apart, and if it's not bad, I don't know if it's really worth doing.
No, I'm not doing it, honestly. It's
not
like it's flopping over on its own.
I've seen bad ones where like it's in gear, but you can just like do this.
I can just move the fucking knob around. Yeah, fuck that. No, it goes into gear fine. It's just like kind of sloppy when it's there, but I don't fucking care. I'm doing minimal work. I'm already not happy about the $450 or $460 tires I bought.
God damn.
I'm not happy about that.
$460 on tires.
Not happy about that.
Were the other ones just like completely fucked, or was it just winter's coming?
It was a little bit of both. It was like winter's coming, but also if there was any heavy rain, which fun fact, the day after I got the tires, we had like
poured.
Downpour rain. Yeah. I would feel a little sus driving on those wheels.
That's fair.
So I was like they were flat. It was probably like 15% tread. Like I don't know how it passed inspection, honestly. Like it must have just barely been on the cusp. So it was very worn, at least to my naked eye. So I don't know why it's naked, but it's it's naked.
Get some clothes on that.
Just
You know,
sus.
What happened to me recently, Jordan?
I don't actually.
I recently got a speeding ticket. I got a speeding ticket.
What were you doing?
Speeding. I was on the highway. And it was on
better than speeding in a residential area.
It was unusually clear on that highway, and I was going probably faster than I should have. I was going like 85.
In what, like a 65?
Yeah, it was a highway, so it was a 65. I was going like 85. No one around, but I see like, I don't know, quarter mile up in front of me, half mile away, whatever. Some distance away. There's a cop in the middle lane. Okay. I'm going to just ease off the throttle and just come down to speed, and I basically matched pace with the cop.
Mm-hmm.
I matched pace with the cop. And bro fucking slowed down, got behind me, and pulled me over.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
The cop was
I thought he was just parked. I didn't. Oh, what the fuck?
No, he was in the middle lane. He was going.
Yeah.
So he was going 75 in the middle lane. I was going 75 in the left lane. He slowed down, got behind me, and pulled me over. And I'm just like, when you get pulled over, you don't ever admit anything.
No, you don't go like, I'm sorry, I was speeding.
He goes, do you know how fast you're going? I go, oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really know. And he's like, well, I got you going 90. I was not going 90. Even before I slowed down, I was not going 90.
How would he even get you going 90 if it was that far ahead?
That's a great question.
Not only ahead, but also traveling at 75 himself.
So
that's some sus shit right there.
But, it's not worth my time. I was on my way to school, number one. So, like, you know what? It's fucking 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm not gonna deal with this now. I'm just
Dude,
gonna
and it's the morning. What a bitch.
I'm gonna give him a good smile. I'm gonna be a respectful young man. I'm gonna hand him all the documentation he needs, and whatever he gives me, I'm just gonna take it.
I suppose he's gonna give you a warning, honestly, if being respectful.
I figured he would.
I've always thought like if I got pulled over for something minimal, I would.
But he was like, "Well, I cut you a break. I brought it down to a 75."
Oh, so he brought it down to fat. Cool. Good for
Yeah.
him. He went back and went, oh, I thought that was a 9. Fuck. It's a 7. Shit.
It's a fucking low resolution screen. And it was like I brought it down to a 75, so he gave me a $105 ticket or $100 ticket, whatever it was. And I was like, okay, have a good day, officer. And he gets back in his car and he's waiting for me to pull off. I'm like, oh, he's full of fucking shit. I open my window and I start going, and then he goes off at the same time I do. So like he was waiting for me to go to make sure I don't just fucking speed off. So I stick to the very right lane, and I go like 45. Yeah. And he whips around me and he goes his normal speed, you know, because he gets to speed. No one else does.
Oh, of course. Well, I mean, yeah, it comes with the title.
He's going normal speed. So then I wait till he's out of eye shot, and then I get back up to speed. Because I'm like, I'm not going to fucking deal with this again. So what I did is I went, okay, everyone says to do it all the time, so I'm just going to go fight the ticket.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you fought it. Yeah.
So I put in the request for the hearing, because you have to like put in a request, the whole thing, and then you just hang out for a while, and they give you a date to show up, and then you go to the place, you show up, and they're like, hey, what's your argument here? And you just go, well, listen, I got like a really good record. I've never had any tickets before. Yeah. So maybe this one just went away.
Yeah. Not to mention, like, you know, I was not going 95. Like,
that's my backup argument, because it's usually better. I was talking to my dad about it yesterday. It's usually better to argue your case based on your record. Mm-hmm. And then if that doesn't work, I have like, well, officer bitch fuck slowed down to get behind me to pull me over. So
yeah. It's too bad you don't have a dash cam too. Because then you could even present that as like, hey, look, I mean, he fucking slowed down, got behind me. The dash cam clearly shows whatever you were doing.
But the way my dad told me about it, it's like he argued out of a ticket by just presenting his record. He's like, well, my record, he had to pay for a copy of his record. He got a copy of his driving record. He's like, my record's clean. Check it out. And they're like, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, honestly. I think it even sells more too, because you're young too. So for someone our age to have a clean record is like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Someone our age with a sporty car.
Yeah, to have a clean record.
I feel like that's why he nailed me.
100%. He looked back. He was like, damn.
So young kid, sunglasses on.
To an apparently 95. Apparently.
Fiesta ST, and he's like, I'm gonna fuck this guy's day up.
He's like, man. Fiesta ST. You know, I got made fun of for having an STD in high school. Well, fuck that guy. Pulls it right back.
I was like, well, Fiesta ST. My daughter works at Harbor Freight and told me about a guy who came in driving a Fiesta ST, and she really didn't like it. So I'm pulling this guy over. That was a callback.
That was a huge callback. Sir, you know why I pulled you over? He just has a photo of her up on his phone.
I go, oh, it's her. She didn't like my Fiesta. Got it.
He's like, you realize you disappointed her. She was excited, Chris. She came home and cried that night. Because she took my gun and tried to blow her brains out that night. Chris, she's in a coma, Chris.
For context, I had a conversation with a cashier at Harbor Freight, and she was like, we were having a nice conversation, and I told her, she asked about my car, and I told her I drove a Fiesta ST, and she got visibly disinterested in our conversation.
Go back to our TikTok or Instagram, go back to the shorts. Look for the one with the buff gorilla guy on the seat.
Yeah, there's it's like women hate Chris's Fiesta or something.
Yeah, it's on there. You'll see the whole clip, or like the sequence. Like, it's a good one.
It was demoralizing. So that's the beef he had.
That was a really good callback. He's like, you know. Or it's his wife, even worse.
His wife.
It's like, oh, shit. Oh, that's too funny. Oh, my God. So, you know what I did, Chris?
Did you get a speeding ticket, too?
Actually, I did a hit and run.
Nice. We do a little felony. It's called we do a little felony.
We do some felonious behavior. No, I did not hit and run anyone. I've never even come close. Although I did get called a dickhead today by a young lady on my street because...
What'd you do?
Well, I'm cruising in second, right? And we all know it's a manual car. It's an event to take off again, right? So I'm just going in second. I'm cruising down my street at like 22 miles an hour. It's a tight street. And I'm coming down the road, and this fucking lady steps out in the road with a hamper of laundry and stops and then looks at me. And I think she expected me to stop. And in all fairness, I probably should have yielded. But I'm like, I'm already going like 22 miles an hour. I'm just trying to roll through this. And as I roll by, I very clearly watch her make eye contact with me. And I can very clearly see her mouth go, fucking dickhead. I'm like, damn, bro. Like, I like, oh, man. It actually kind of hurt my feelings. I'm not going to lie. I was like, oh, shit, maybe I should have stopped.
I don't even get mad about that shit anymore. I'm bold as fuck about traffic and things. As a pedestrian, I mean. Like, I was we're going back to Chipotle again. A lot of events happened at that Chipotle. Talked about, like, 2 separate events.
Seems like it.
They sold me the chode burrito. The guy with the weird fucking exhaust whistle. So,
Chris is laughing with his chode in his hand. He's like, look at that guy.
When I was walking into the building, there was a car that was like, coming across the parking spot. It was coming between me and the building. And I was like, okay, this car is in a parking lot. They're going to stop because I'm already like in the street. Nah, they're not going to do that. So they didn't. I was like, I stopped and I let him go. I said, okay, because I will just go most of the time. I don't fucking care. Like, hit me, you're gonna hit me. Like, you're going 3 miles an hour. What are you gonna do? I'm gonna do more damage to your vehicle than it is to me.
Probably, yeah, so, more than likely.
Like, just do what you're gonna do.
Oh man.
So I was like, okay, and then it like came in the restaurant behind me, and I turned around and I looked at them, and they like very clearly like recognized or like acknowledged that like they came very close to just like fucking hitting me. I was like, I don't really care, but I'm like, at least maybe don't do that.
Yeah, maybe some other people might care,
Maybe there's a chance that next time it's not gonna be a 6'1", 300+ pound gorilla man out in the street. It might be like a small child, and you might not see him because I'm hard to miss.
Pretty hard.
I'm hard to miss. So it's a child. Pretty easy to miss. They're small. They're little. They're little guys.
Yeah.
So maybe you might hit a child.
Dude's like, man, fucking weird speed
bump
bumps
in here.
He's like, weird speed bumps. I didn't know they made sounds now.
Making
Kids
a bunch
like,
of fucking noise.
Kids are fucking 2 pierced lungs.
He comes out that it looks at the kid of the road as fucking his legs are where his arms are, and his arms are where his legs are. It's like, what?
It's like,
someone come get this thing.
Dude, it's like
someone scrape this thing off the sidewalk.
He pulls out a snow shovel, picks it up, and flips it over.
He goes, oh shit.
It's like
throws it off into the woods.
It's like fucking GTA when you get hit by a car and you fall, and it's just like a blood streak for some reason. It's just like that.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell? But you know what I did, right? I played VR for the first time in a year.
Yeah. Quite the experience. There was something that I remember, some video game that I remember being told about that came out in VR, and I completely fucking expunged it from my memory.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. And then it left my mind. It's entered again. Bone Labs came out as on Quest.
Yep.
So,
Bone Labs did come out.
when I eventually feel like turning my Quest on, I might play.
Probably once that area is totally clear, you'll end up being more into it.
Maybe. Who knows?
I played Aspire 2.
Aspire to what?
Aspire to be a beautiful robot man.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Aspire 2 is basically like Metal Gear Solid, but you pilot a robot. So you're not like a human. You're basically a guy in like a VR rig who's piloting this Aspire unit, which is just a fucking advanced military bot.
So it's a virtual reality game in which you play as a person in virtual reality controlling a robot in real reality.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's pretty set. So you basically you don't approach missions any way you want. You can go in guns blazing. You can be a little stealth. But what's cool, what I like about the Aspire series in general, but the second one especially, it's better. They use real world voice commands.
Oh,
so
that's
you
cool.
sneak up behind someone and you go, put your fucking hands up. And they put their hands up. And then you're like, drop your fucking weapon. And they drop their gun and shit like that. You can say, empty your pockets. And they'll give you ammo and stuff and like resources. So
That's actually really neat.
I walk up behind this guy, right? There's two guys. I come around the corner. I have a suppressed assault rifle. And there's two guys. And I just go, hey, asshole. And then they both turn. And I just go, gun them down. It's fucking great, dude.
Yeah.
And it's pretty good. It's pretty reliable to the voice commands, but it's
That's neat, actually.
It's pretty fucking cool. And then you can like free scale walls and shit like climb fucking sewer pipes. It's dope. It's very
like the that feature that Skyrim on the Xbox 360 had. If you had a Kinect, you could yell things into the Kinect, and it might do it sometimes.
Maybe.
You could be like, equip shout, unrelenting force, and it'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then it would do it, and then you could like shout, and you could do it from the voice command.
yeah.
But it was like, in terms of that, it made zero sense because there was a button to do it.
Oh,
It's like if there was like a hey asshole button in that game, and you could say it and it would register 20% of the time.
yeah.
So I think technology has come pretty far.
Yeah, well, The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners does that, where you can say the dialogue options in the game. And then,
really?
And then the NPC will acknowledge it. And it's relatively quick. There's like a fractional delay between you saying it and then the game being like, oh, that's what they said.
I feel like we're getting to a point, or we're getting close to a point, because we're advanced AI can understand context to some degree. Some degree, and can parse tone and different things from voice. We're getting to a point where maybe you can have like a dynamic conversation with, an AI in a game where it's like, I feel like it's going to be bound to not important characters, because like if it's main characters, obviously there has to be specific dialogue so that the story continues.
Yeah.
But, if you're with like a shopkeeper, I imagine there's probably going to be like a handful of things that it can recognize, or can recognize intent. So like, hey, I want to buy this, or what do you have? And it can just parse that intent and say, okay, these are the things
As
that
opposed to give me everything you have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting that, I'm not a huge I've made it very clear, I'm not a huge coding wonk. I'm not a huge guy on coding.
Right.
But if I was going to do some like project for fun, it would be something to that effect where I can either generate something from AI or like have AI parse data from things.
Right.
So that's always been like kind of interesting to me.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I like it in
But
the
it's
game.
definitely not something I'm rushing to do.
Right, I like it in the game. I just don't want to see games go the route of like, this is a mandatory interaction.
That's fair.
Like imagine if Red Dead Redemption 3 comes out and it's like, hey, every piece of dialogue you need to say.
Yeah, that's going to
Like,
be annoying.
fuck that. What's
That's
the point
really
of voice actors at that point for your character, right? But for something like Aspire, a VR situation, where it's like, you don't have to say anything. And I believe you can actually, if I'm not mistaken, there's a radial menu where you can point at the character and hit a button. It'll bring up a radial menu of the options, and you can select them. So if you don't want to say it. Or like, I was trying to say something when Letsy was watching a YouTube video, and I hit the button to prepare to say something, and it registered me as saying like, I'm going over there. And then the guy was like,
where are you going?
the fuck was that? And then I had to shoot his ass. Damn. So it's pretty cool. Letsy was laughing her ass off because she just sees me. I got this dumbass headset on. I'm sitting like this, like I'm holding a rifle, and I'm going, put your hands up. Drop your weapon. Get on your knees. And then I'm just fucking killing this guy. Like, it's funny. It's pretty cool, though. It does make for like a cool experience. So, highly recommend.
Yeah, one of these days I might play VR again.
The Walking Dead 2 is coming out. Walking Dead Saints and Sinners 2. So I'm excited for that. December 1st, baby.
December 1st.
Yeah, I'm hype as fuck for that.
Interesting.
Now that I remembered Evil West is coming out Tuesday, I'm actually very excited for this week. I totally forgot that game was coming out, and then it popped into my head last episode for some reason, and I was like, man, we're already like at the end of November. I remember that game that's supposed to be at the end of November. Yeah, Tuesday.
Yeah, I said it Jordan, I think. Might have been Alex. I don't remember.
Yeah, we're like one and the same.
I was like, well, I don't hate you. I hate Alex. That's not true. I don't hate either of these people. I said the linear passage of time is really pissing me off.
Yeah.
Next week, as of recording this, next week is fucking Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
What is going on?
5 fucking days.
Wasn't it just my birthday?
Yeah, dude. We just went to Maine. Like, I'm convinced that was last weekend.
We just went to Maine like not that long ago, and now it's like almost fucking Thanksgiving.
It's been like 4 months.
Mariah Carey has thawed, and she's breached containment.
She's coming,
and
dude.
you can't escape. All I Want for Christmas Is You now, and it's like, oh fuck, Christmas is like a month.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. That shit's wild.
So that's why I was like, I had that moment where like, oh fuck, I'm not gonna have enough time to finish this fucking project. But now I'm like, I'm chilling.
Now you're caught up.
I'm kind of chilling. I'm gonna be doing some serious testing. Maybe tomorrow, maybe not. I don't know. And next week. So.
Yeah. The passage of time fucking sucks.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying.
Shit's wild.
It's been crazy. I feel like this year has been just weird with time.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like the first like 4 months, like up until like April, was like kind of normal pace, and then like April to August was like slow. It felt slow, and now September to now has felt like a week.
It's crazy. It really is.
There are mornings where I wake up and I'm like, holy fuck, it's Thursday? Jesus.
Yeah.
It was Monday just fucking an hour ago.
Yeah. No, that's true. It has been like rapid fire. It really has been.
I don't know. Things are getting weird. Time is getting weird lately.
It is, yeah.
I imagine that just comes with age, I guess, and having shit to do. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's just a matter of being so busy. Like it's just been like grind fest for this entire year, pretty much. So
I'm making plans of like, this is what I'm going to be doing when I'm not constantly bogged down. Stuff like rudimentary stuff like, oh, I want to play video game. I wanna jump back into Days Gone and actually play that. Yeah. I want to play Slime Rancher 2 a bit more. Yeah. Because I played for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this is cool, but I don't have time to like sink time into this.
Yeah.
I want to work on that. I want to work on my editing project. I was planning on doing something, and I realized it's not going to work out. So I want to work on that project because I already put a lot of work into like writing it. Yeah. So I'm gonna be doing a different thing entirely. That's in a similar vein, but it's not gonna be nearly as interesting. It's gonna be kind of boring. I think.
Yeah, that's how it be sometimes. It's like this podcast.
Yeah. You know what's not boring?
What?
Jordan. Speaking of editing. I think I don't know if I told the entire story. I told that I had to salvage our Monterey video. You
referenced it, yeah.
I had to, because I had to go and retrieve all the files and the DaVinci Resolve database and everything. And I was able to install Resolve on my Mac and then pull up all the files. I had to link all these files. And it was such a pain, but I got it going. And I found out something in class, in editing class, that like, you can get an XML of your timeline and it's pretty much universal. It's like, okay, let's try this. Cause like now I'm pretty much I've moved into Premiere.
Yeah.
Premiere and I, we're like this now. We're
doing
buddies,
shots together. Like,
right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, let's see if I can move this over. Cause it's a relatively simple timeline. See if I can move this over to Premiere. And I exported the XML, brought it into Premiere. It linked all the media automatically. and it just worked. So I have to redo the text graphics because obviously like the DaVinci Resolve stuff isn't going to transfer over to Premiere.
Right.
Because I have like what do they call it? Like Fusion Text or Text Plus or something, where there's like effects and things you can do with the text. Basically, you can put like a keyframe on the text, which is, something that you can just do in Premiere.
Yeah.
You can just do it. Or the thing I like a lot about Premiere and Adobe in general is that all their programs just talk to each other. So if you have like a photo, like a graphic that you're making, you can just drag the PSD into Premiere and then make edits to it in Photoshop, and they will appear.
Yeah, live.
And same thing with like Illustrator if you're doing text graphics or motion graphics and After Effects and stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. It definitely streamlines the whole thing.
For sure.
Super fucking sick.
It's really interesting how those things all talk to each other, which is gonna suck because when I graduate, I'm not gonna have my student subscription anymore, meaning that's going from $20 a month to like $55 a month or something. So
yeah, it's expensive.
because I'm like, okay, I can use this app to do this and this app to do this. So now I have like fucking 8 of their apps installed.
Yeah.
So who's the sucker?
Yeah, you're becoming an Adobe show. First it was an Apple show. Now it's an Adobe show.
Yeah.
Things are just not looking good for you.
What next? What are some other companies that I dislike?
You're gonna buy a fucking Tesla, Chris. That's like that's the master prestige.
I'm gonna buy Tesla. Let me be very clear. I still dislike these companies.
Oh, of course.
Just because I've purchased things that they make.
It just means that what they made is pretty good.
I can acknowledge things suck while also dabbling in them, Like, I can acknowledge, okay, Adobe fucking sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But they make some useful shit. So, like, I can hate them while also using their products.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of how I am with most of my stuff. Like, I'm not an incredible fan of Samsung in general lately, but
Same
like
thing,
no one
like,
makes
honestly.
a good foldable besides them.
Yeah, honestly, same as like, I don't really like Samsung per se, but like, I've always just bought Samsung since I've like been big into Androids. I've always bought Samsung.
Yeah.
And, they make phones. I buy phones.
Yeah.
So
until someone makes another good foldable besides Apple, they're the one company I would never buy from. But until someone makes another foldable that's comparable, guess I'm sticking with Samsung.
To that same effect is like I can criticize iPhones and like how Apple does things, and I can also enjoy how fucking impressive the M1 is as a machine. That machine is genuinely very impressive. I was a bit of a skeptic. Apple Silicon. I was like, this is gonna be bullshit.
Yeah.
And you know what?
It's pretty damn good.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty damn good. It's certainly better than a 40 series GPU. Have you seen all the fires with the 40?
Yeah, I was gonna say, at least my M1 hasn't fucking lit my house on fire yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you think they're gonna do a recall, or you think they're just gonna let that be a thing that happens? Probably let it be a thing that happens, honestly.
You think so? I feel like it might be like they might be having a Ford Pinto type situation where they're like, hey, legal. How much is it going to cost in the long run, over the course of 5 years or whatever the warranty is? It might even be 3. It's like, how much is it going to cost us to replace these graphics cards under warranty at the rate they're blowing up?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, it's going to be cheaper to deal with that than it is to do a recall on all of them and issue everyone a new one.
Yeah, and we don't have parts to make new ones in that capacity. Yeah.
So...
And for context, the 4090s from NVIDIA, they're basically catching fire. So.
Yeah, I don't remember what the specific issue was that they were having. It was like power distribution or something.
Some shit with their plug or whatever. The plug on the graphics card is always melting, and then it eventually shorts and catches fire.
Yeah, it is what it is. And
shit happens. If they burn down your home and your family, it's not really that big of a deal.
It's like I said, it's like a Ford Pinto situation, much less deadly Ford Pinto situation where with the Ford put the gas tank right at the back of the Pinto and didn't put any reinforcements behind it. So like they were talking to their team like, hey, it's going to cost us this much to redesign and add all the stuff we need. How much is it going to cost in lawsuits from people who get rear-ended and have their car light on fire.
Yeah.
And they determined that was going to be cheaper, the lawsuits. And then several people fucking died in explosions because of their car. And that's how, because of their car being rear-ended. And that's how Ford is, I believe, the only company that's been charged with murder.
Yeah.
Which is
Makes sense.
You know. So that's another thing. It's like, you know, I still own a Ford vehicle, despite the fact that I know Ford is ostensibly an evil company.
Yeah.
You can't. There's no good companies. I feel like there's not a lot of good companies. Once they get to a certain size, they're all kind of bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of it's size dependent because like the shoes I buy, the company Vessi or whatever, they make high quality products. They back them. They're eco friendly, but they're a small company. If they get to the size of like fucking Nike, I guarantee they go the same way.
If you get to a multi-billion-dollar corporation, that sort of status, it's like you don't get to that status by being ethical and like having, you know,
going out of your way to do things.
You know, ethical labor and ethical sourcing of materials. You export it over to people to sweatshops where you're not paying for labor really, and things like that. It's
Yep.
You know, I don't know. I don't know if there's any great big companies.
You know the best company?
What's that?
Synapse Misfire LTC, baby.
LTC?
LLC, sorry. I'm thinking of my license. I really want it. It's so close. It's almost in my hands, dude.
Nice.
The LLC, baby. That's us.
Yeah, that's a real LLC that we've both definitely opened.
So don't try to take it, please.
Yeah, definitely don't do that.
Please. But yeah, no, companies in general just like aren't incredible. Oh no.
Yeah. I'm inclined to agree. Is that right?
A little bit.
Are we keeping you? Or?
No, you just blow my brains out. Just do it.
Is that what you're gonna do when you get home?
Yeah. No.
Your guinea pigs blew up recently, or you had to take them somewhere, right?
No, they just had a regular appointment to get their nails cut. But what's weird is we took them to get their nail cuts this morning. Nails got cut. The lady goes, "Yeah, that'll be $21. And we can't cut their nails anymore unless you get them a checkup." Okay, sure, I guess. What's the checkup? Oh, $300. Oh, about that.
That's like
Guinea pigs were $50, dude. What the fuck?
So you've totaled your guinea pigs.
I told them like 6 times over. The first 3 nail cuts totaled their asses.
That's the thing. Like when you have like contacts, I wear contact lenses so I can see. That's how they get you. Because I know I'm at a point now where my prescription does not change. But they have to we gotta make sure. It's like, despite the fact that it hasn't changed in like 6 fucking years, we have to make sure that it's not going to change. So we're going to expire your prescription, so you can't order more contact lenses.
Yeah.
So that's how they get you. So they're like, we can cut the nails of your little pigs, but you got to pay us more money first.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. So.
I didn't know that was a thing you had to do with guinea pigs, was get their nails trimmed.
Oh yeah, you do. Their nails get fucking gnarly, dude. Looks like tree roots. Yeah.
Damn, ew.
Jerry's nails were all fucked up. Actually, he has one that's like, it grew down and then it went directly sideways back into his arm, pretty much.
What evolutionary benefit does that provide?
None. But they're a pain in the ass, those fucking guinea pigs. And then I realized they're. They're 3.09 ounces. That's their weight. It says that guinea pigs are supposed to be 2.6 at the highest. Fat little fucks, dude.
I guess the thing with like rodents in general is like, typically, I don't know how it is for guinea pigs, but typically rodents don't live that long.
So they're between 4 to 8 years. They're already 2 years old, so I mean, I might only have another 2 years left.
Yeah, like rats. People have rats as pets. They only live like 2 years.
Yeah.
And hamsters, at most you're getting like 2 years. That's like an elderly hamster. if if it doesn't manage to kill itself in the most gruesome fashion imaginable.
Drop
first.
a bookshelf on itself.
Like this. I never heard about a rodent that had a good death.
Gets trapped under the electric fly swatter while it's on.
Especially hamsters. Like, what if, it's always like it fucking ate firecrackers, or like I left it alone for 3 hours and it had a heart attack and died. Those fucking things, they do not deserve to be on this planet.
They don't.
Hamsters.
Guinea pigs are totally domestic as well. There's no wild guinea pigs. So they're useless.
They're fucking useless. They just don't, so they can't. There's no like feral ones. You can't. They won't survive.
No, they just
Damn.
won't make it. Probably get eaten by like a fucking pigeon. They're so useless. Their body dynamics are so weird too, because their ass is so fat, their head is so pointy, and they're so long that they try to run and their spine is like bent inward.
Yeah, they're like very potato-y.
Yeah,
they're very potato shaped.
Guinea pigs fucking suck.
I feel like there's a lot of domesticated animals you can just let them out and they can be feral and exist. Like cats especially, they live less time.
Mm-hmm.
Significantly so, obviously, because they're exposed to threats. But like, a cat is like a fucking monster on the street. Dogs, I imagine, are probably much the same. Like they can fend for themselves.
Yeah.
But like once you get to those little fucking things,
Useless.
guinea pigs. I mean, rabbits are still around.
Right.
Rabbits are like pretty useless animals.
Right.
What do? All they do is like
They feed the bigger game.
they
pretty
eat
much.
grass, they jump around, and then they get fucking swooped by a hawk.
Yeah, they pretty much just feed the bigger game.
Yeah.
Or a cat. Cat will fucking snatch, or a dog.
Cats, yeah. Cats are apparently so effective that apparently for a while they were like a serious problem to the ecosystem in Australia.
I was just about to reference the same thing.
Like
they put on a hunt for the cat.
They put on like a bounty for stray cats.
Yeah.
And I guess that's an issue that pops up every so often. That's why like you have all the people who trap and neuter cats, just stray cats, and just put them back. Because like, you have 2 cats, you wait a year, you have 6. And now there's fucking 12.
You wait 3 years, you have like 15. Yeah.
So there's, by the time a feral cat that's not neutered is like, 4 or 5 years old, it's probably fathered hundreds of kittens.
Yeah.
So they spread quick.
Yeah, they're fucking virus cats.
Yeah, they are. They're a virus. Because I feel like the biggest threat to feral cats in general is like cars.
Yeah, pretty much. Cars
and like maybe coyotes.
Maybe.
Because you never see like a big cat problem where they have like bears.
Yeah.
Like it's always like a place where it's like, oh, you got a coyote, and that's it really. Coyotes are kind of bitches.
Yeah.
They're in a lot of cases not even good enough for like to take out deer.
Yeah.
And that's like their main food source is fucking deer.
They're like, oh fuck, man, that's gross. I don't want to eat that.
Ew. They're like, oh, this thing's really fucking big.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with this. So
I always wanted to hunt a deer. That's on my bucket list. Go hunting.
Hunt one deer.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be like a repeat hunter, but I'd like to just hunt and manage to get a deer.
No, I want to go and specifically cause a significant dent in the local deer population.
Gonna eradicate a populace.
Yeah, I'm gonna be the number one threat to deer.
It just shows that
in my area,
Chris. If in 10 years, if they don't show the fucking food tree, and you're not just at the top above humans, you're just at the top
above humans.
That's it.
If this person is in your area, this is a threat immediately. He will kill you and eat you.
He eats everything. Your clothes, your phone, your wallet and keys. Like it's gone.
It doesn't matter to me. I just go out and I'm a threat to every living thing that exists. Or there's going to be like a chart of like deer over time in the area. It's like, okay. And then just going to show like me there's gonna be like the incident when I start hunting the deer, and it's just gonna be a massive downward trend.
It'd be one of those
All
charts
the
that
fucking deer.
it's literally like deer populace over time goes. It's like, oh yeah, they're doing pretty good. Christiansen introduced, it drops straight to zero.
Straight to
line.
zero. I've taken all the, and I don't even do anything.
And it's
with
in a
them.
3-day window.
I don't even do anything with them. I just take them, just kill them, just to
pile
kill
it
them.
up.
I have a big pile of deer in my yard. I have like hundreds of them, thousands of deer.
Oh my god.
Because I just did
doesn't
it for
like 'em.
fun. I don't even eat them.
Just does not like deer.
I just fucking hate deer.
When he was a kid, a deer bit him at like the petting zoo. You go into the zoos and you take the deer from there.
I fucking beat the shit out of it. It's a personal beating.
Deer's fucking tied down. You got like fucking a battery. You're like, want that fucking GTA 5 it.
I pick him up, I grab him, and I'm punching him in the fucking face. I don't care. Fuck you, deer.
Oh my god.
I would go hunting at least once. As in conclusion, that's what I would. I do want to do that at some point in my life. So I want to go hunting at least once.
Yeah, I'd like to.
I feel like the thing about hunting is the same thing that they have about fishing, where it's like 99% of it is just like hanging out. You're just sitting there.
And the difference too with hunting is you gotta be real fucking quiet. Fishing, you gotta be quiet too to an extent, but
fishing is like you can have a conversation.
But you can't
fishing.
be banging around and shit.
You can't be like, throwing shit in the water, running firecrackers.
Yeah.
And like...
But like hunting a deer, you gotta be like, hey Chris. Fuck, we scared him off.
The deer's like, what's that, a branch? I'm gonna get the fuck out of here, bro.
Dude's like, he's walking through the woods. Deer's like, man, what am I gonna eat? Is that a stick? I've never seen a stick before. What the fuck is it doing here? Run!
Get the fuck out of here. And then the deer will see a fucking F-150 barreling towards him at 80 miles an hour and go, should I do something about that?
And then get wiped off the face of the planet. So that's actually how you hunted all the deer. You drove in an F-150.
Should I do something about that? And that's the last thought in their head. They just fucking get evaporated.
Chris forgot to mention the incident that occurred was him driving around on the F-150 with a spike on the front, just collecting deer.
I have a big deer spike. It's a big kebab of deer. And I take them, then every so often I take them and I throw them in the back.
It's literally popping a squat as you're going down with like 10 deer.
And I reload the spike with deer.
Gets the knife sharpener out. He's like, shing, shing. Get the spike nice and spiky.
The fucking deer man is out again. He's gonna take out the deer population for forever.
Yeah.
Permanently.
You know what you gotta play, Chris? You gotta play the Resident Evil 8 DLC. I beat it the other day.
Is it good?
It ended up being pretty good.
It's like a story DLC, right?
Yeah, it's a story DLC. It's nothing like incredible. You're not gonna be like, oh my god, yes. But like, it fulfills a lot of the stuff that was left open in Resident Evil 8.
How much is the DLC?
It's $20 for the whole expansion. It's the DLC, the third person mode, and mercenaries something. So
I might play it.
You should. I played it on the Steam Deck. It runs phenomenal.
The biggest thing to cross off my list is when I'm done with this semester, when it's all said and done.
Days Gone.
Is no God of War.
Oh yeah, of course, right.
I can play that anytime. God of War just came out.
True.
God of War just came out, and it's like, am I gonna be happy about buying it it's $70, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a new game.
Yeah.
Am I gonna be happy that I'm paying $10 additional for this video game? No.
Of all the games to pay it for, though, it's definitely one of the best ones.
It's definitely worth.
It's better than Modern Warfare 2, which I bought, unfortunately.
For $70.
Yeah. I've been playing it with the guys at work and stuff. And
Oh man.
it's a good time. It's a good game, but I am not happy about the fact that it's $70 for one mode that I play.
Yeah, that's fair.
Shit hurts.
I feel as though, I think, the biggest harbinger of like this game's season is the new Call of Duty being announced. So I feel like that happens every year where I'm like, Call of Duty got announced? I feel like there was just a Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Like
Every fucking year, dude.
They just fucking made one of these things. We
Apparently-
don't need one every year.
Apparently, our buddy in the engineering team is fucking nasty as well.
Is it?
According to the new colleague in my department. Yeah. He's kind of gnarly.
Damn.
Alex sucks, apparently.
Yeah, he sucks at everything.
Does he? Yeah.
Yeah, he's the worst. He's the worst at literally everything.
Yeah, apparently he sucks at Call of Duty. Apparently he goes like frequently like Like 9 and 17.
Bottom of the leaderboard. He just like me. That's how I play. I'm always bottom of the leaderboard if I play any first-person shooter.
It's not Chris's fault that he likes being bottom, okay? Damn. It's not Chris's fault, dude.
I normally am at bottom of the. I think I was.
You and Alex compete for
I
bottom.
think I was top of the leaderboard once in Modern Warfare, like the
Original.
not
2019.
not the original 2019.
Yeah.
When that one came out, I was top of the leaderboard once, and I was like, holy shit! Everyone else sucked if that was the case.
Top of the leaderboard was like
garbage.
7 and 13.
It was like 7 and 39. I just fucking I'm just not good at video games.
Check out this score streak. So, the new guy in my department, he took off Friday for the Pokemon games, and they didn't get delivered. So he was heated, right?
Oh,
he was
boy.
mad. So his sort of outlet was to play Call of Duty. This was his score, the top one. 44 and 6.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he went fucking insane.
That's crazy.
So he's pretty nasty.
And there's another thing that comes out way too often is fucking Pokemon.
Yeah,
I feel like there was just a Pokemon game.
there
that
was.
came
I
out.
think it was Sword and Shield or something else, or Arceus or whatever. I keep
There was
hearing.
like a Legends Arceus came out, like fucking 8 months ago. I feel like.
Yeah, I've heard this new one's actually kind of buggy though. I'm not a Pokemon guy, so I don't give it a singular shit. But I've heard it's a little buggy.
Yeah, no, I really don't care. I'm not a huge Pokemon fan. I'll play the games occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
Like I played like the first few hours of like Let's Go Pikachu, but that was the last one I played. And I was like, okay, this is kind of neat, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna go do something more entertaining now.
Yeah, then play with a fucking digital creature.
Yeah, I'm gonna go play with different digital creatures. I'm gonna go play like Slime Rancher. I'm gonna play with different digital
Play with
creatures.
these little balls.
These little fucking jelly guys. There's that game's phenomenal, by the way. Is both of the Slime Rancher games. They're both very good. There's a lot to uncover. You get little slime guys.
Always good when slime guys are
It's pretty
involved.
neat. It's pretty neat. I like that. It's a video game I quite enjoy. I feel like there's a recurring theme. I feel like I like a lot of video games that like women like. I'm not a woman, obviously, but
Not today anyway.
tomorrow's another day. Something might
Another
happen.
day, another dollar. What can I say? Another day, one less testicle.
Like I was, I'm a huge fan of Slime Rancher, big Stardew Valley enjoyer.
Like The Sims?
No, actually.
I love The Sims.
I
The
don't like
old
The Sims.
Sims. Fuck the new one.
Not a bit. I was a big Animal Crossing enjoyer when I played
Let's
the
see
new
Animal
one.
Crossing, yeah.
Um,
You went hard in that one, didn't you? The newest one?
yeah,
The
I
Island,
played it a fair amount.
The fuck's it called? New Horizons? Yeah, New Horizons.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I thought it was okay. It didn't live up to the hype I was hoping it would be for like the old GameCube one I used to play. It just didn't hit the same. It's probably the exact same. It's just that I'm not 7 anymore. So it just didn't resonate as well with me.
I love little games like that where you're just like a guy hanging out.
You'd probably like the indie scene a lot too, like indie games in general, because a lot of those are indies.
Well, yeah, I surf that quite a bit. It's like a lot of the games that I'm gonna go out of my way to buy. A lot of them are indie games because it's like no big AAA studios going out of their way to make like a story driven like survival like fucking farming type game.
Yeah.
Whereas like I feel like Nintendo's the only one that's making Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
But no one's like making a sort of Stardew Valley type game at a AAA level.
Right. It's not something you see. I've been paying more attention to the indie scene. That's how I found out about that game, the We Who Are About to Die. I've been paying more attention because like the last couple of indie games I've played have been like, why can't Ubisoft make their games this good?
Yeah, why can't the people who are charging $70 for their games make a game that's as good as this one I got for $14.99?
Like, why is a Plague Tale Requiem $50 and better in every metric than like the last 6 Ubisoft games? And it's made by a team of like 100, Like, that's why I have no gripes. Like, I held off on getting Modern Warfare 2 until people at work were like, you gotta fucking get it. Then I finally got it. But, like, I dropped $70 the instant pre-orders went live for God of War because I'm like, dude, I know what I'm getting. Like, it's fucking God of War.
Yeah.
Like, I knew this was going to be exceptional no matter what. But, like, MW2, I'm like, I'm really about to pay $70 to just shoot some other assholes.
Yeah, I don't generally pre-order things. Just because I'm like, when a AAA game is coming out, I'm like, okay, a game is a game is a game. I'm gonna get to this. I'm gonna buy it when I get to it.
Right.
You know.
I usually try to get it. So if I'm not going to get to it, I've been doing that on purpose lately. Is like, all right, logically, when will I play this? If it's not within the first month that it's released, I'm not buying it. I did that with Spider-Man on PC. I said, man, I really want this just to play it on the Steam Deck. And then I'm like, but I'm not going to play it. So I waited. I got it really cheap on a sale. And guess what? I still haven't played it. Yeah, it's been 3 months. And
that's kind of the thing, is you kind of have to look like, I could buy this new, but I'm not going to play this.
Yeah.
So...
The thing about Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man on the PC is like, I kind of wish I didn't buy it because I realized I was going to replay it on the Steam Deck just to replay it. But then I realized that platinum that I want to get, I can get it super easily. I literally just have to put it on ultimate difficulty on New Game Plus. Because when you beat it, you get the ultimate difficulty. So I just have to select New Game Plus, put it on the hardest difficulty, and I don't have to do any side stuff. I just have to beat the game. So literally, I'm like, man, I'm not going to even end up playing this on PC because I'm just going to replay it on PS5 to get the fucking platinum. All I got to do is that. I did every single thing in the game. So I'm like, fuck, that's easy. So I'm giving myself a little bit of time. First lull we hit in 2023, I'm going to go back and platinum Spider-Man.
Is there anything coming out in 2023? Like,
right before. So it's not technically 2023, obviously, but like, dude, December's looking pretty crisp. We got fucking the Callisto Protocol. Atomic Heart is somewhere in there. I think it's in February, which is obviously 2023. There's a lot of good stuff coming out. The biggest two being probably the Callisto Protocol and Atomic Heart. Callisto Protocol being the people who made Dead Space, made Dead Space 2, but without that name because they can't use it. So it looks better than anything EA's sharded out in the last 5-10 years.
That's not that hard.
Yeah, I know. And Atomic Heart is very similar to Callisto Protocol, where it's basically a Bioshock, Cold War, Russia, Soviet Union sort of thing. So, which looks fucking sick.
But there's nothing like, I feel like the last few years have just sucked for video games.
There just hasn't been a lot of blockbusters now. Like, this year was pretty limited. Like, off the top of my head, I can just think of the Game of Year contenders, which is like Elden Ring, God of War, Horizon Forbidden West.
Yeah.
And then like a Plague Tale.
You ever see like you don't
Dying
see like
Light
a
came
ton
out.
of bangers coming out recently.
Yeah. I've let my life has just started to suck ever since Dying Light 2 came out, honestly.
That was the start of your downfall.
Oh, 100%, dude. I feel like that game came out, and like that was the first game this year that I was like, I'm hyped for. And then it just hasn't been the same since.
Things haven't been the same.
Life's just blown,
Damn.
I'm over it, dude.
That's,
Dying Light 2 is a major disappointment. Like, major. Like
Like
I would prefer Cyberpunk 2.0.
Okay, I was gonna say in terms of like compared to Cyberpunk being a disappointment.
Cyberpunk, I didn't have much merit in it other than like, oh, I liked The Witcher, and then I was like, oh, this sucks. Dying Light was like, dude, first game, fucking incredible. Like, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna expand on this? And then in every way, it sucked. I went on a tangent at D&D last night, where the best way I could describe my feelings towards Dying Light 2 is this: you give me these abilities, right? You make me this guy who can do parkour. I have a sword. It is electrified. It has poison.
Right.
But because I'm in this zone, that zombie's level 5. So I smack him with my hardened sword that's electrified and has poison, and then he eats me. That's Dying Light 2 in a nutshell.
That's kind of annoying.
It's like, hey, you know the first game where like we had a really fucking incredible balance where like you could still get overwhelmed, but you were still kind of like an unstoppable force if you knew what you were doing. But then you had the volatiles to mix it up where you couldn't just be like smack, smack, smack because they could just absorb those blows. Let's do that, but let's give them health bars and RPG tiers and levels, and let's make it so that way you can literally equip a sword and go to a high level area and just sit there hacking a regular zombie who's going stumbling around, hacking it for 5 minutes to kill it.
That style of like progression has always annoyed the shit out of me.
So fucking annoying.
Instead of like introducing different enemy types or like
to diversify it,
yeah, to like diversify or like giving the enemies better weapons or something like that. It's always a lot of developers will just do like, we're going to make a base level enemy, but we're going to make it a bullet sponge.
Yeah. Rather
than, it should be like, this enemy deals more damage or has a different ability or has a different weapon. Yeah. Not, this enemy has a lot of health.
Yeah.
And that being it.
Yeah. Exactly, and that's what Dying Light 2 did, which is what made it such a disappointment, because the amount of times that I, like, would go to fight zombies, like basic zombies, just shambling dudes, and I would just get wrecked. And I'm like...
Shambling dudes.
And I'm just like, okay, like, that was fun. That was cool. I'm glad I rolled up with my leveled up sword that's electrified with poison and has fucking the hearts of a demon in it. And I smacked the shit out of this basic zombie, and it just goes, oh! And then attacks me and bites me.
Oh, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
God damn.
So fucking annoying.
Yeah. There's another thing to be said, another conversation to be had about, like, pointless restrictions in games like that.
Like fucking invisible walls and stuff.
Yeah. The biggest one I could think of is SnowRunner. There's specific vehicles that you can only buy when you're in maps, in specific maps. So, like,
yeah.
If you're in a North America map, there's a whole slew of Russian vehicles you can't buy. And if you're in a Russian map, there's a whole slew of North American vehicles that you can't buy. Not because the area is locked, because you can travel between any maps.
Seamlessly, yeah.
Seamlessly without doing it. So you have to load into a different map, buy the vehicle you want,
Drive
store
back.
it, and then store it, and then travel to a different map. So you have to, like, load back into a different map. And it's in your garage anyway, so why not just make it
or
so
would
you can
just,
buy
equip
everything?
it and drive over or whatever. Yeah, it's stupid. That's dumb.
It's so pointless restrictions of video games are stupid.
Yeah. Especially in games that call themselves a sandbox like that or Dying Light 2.
It's like, yeah, there's a lot of ways you can approach the game, but you can only approach it the way we want you to approach it.
Yeah, so here's what we're gonna do. We'll give you freedom of choice. Like, you can go in guns blazing. Just know that you're gonna get fucking steamrolled. So you have to do it X, Y, and Z. You know?
Yeah, Witcher kind of did that in an annoying way, where, like,
Yeah.
if you encountered an enemy that was, I think the cap was like 5. It was like 5 levels over yours.
It got the skull or whatever.
It would get the skull, and it was fucking literally unstoppable. You would do 2 damage to it, and it would kill you in one hit. But if it was like 6 levels higher than you, that would be the case. You level up once, now you're within 5 levels. It's a complete fucking pushover.
Yeah.
So that's another pointless restriction.
Yeah. This is the same thing Cyberpunk did that I didn't like. I understand that Cyberpunk was made by people who made Witcher, which is an RPG game, but, like, I cannot stand shooters with health bars. Like, I can't stand it. Like, I get it from fighting a boss, but shooting games with health bars, sword fighting games, I get it. Shooting games, the one I'm sitting there with a machine gun going and blasting someone 40 rounds and their health bars going. That's just so annoying.
And with a game like Cyberpunk, you can make it work in universe because you have, like, the cyber psychos or whatever.
Yeah, that stem themselves up.
That literally, have specific enhancements and augmentations so that they can become bullet sponges. And that's when it makes sense.
Yeah, they have, like, armored shells and shit. Yeah.
Whereas, just a guy, it should just be, the whole story of, like, oh, you fucking shoot him in the head and he's gone.
Yeah, why is it that, spoiler for Cyberpunk, why is it that fucking Jackie gets fucking iced in, like, 2 bullets? He's like...
Yeah.
But everyone else is like, hand grenade, hand grenade, and they're just like, hey, I'm good.
Yeah. So,
I think that's all we got.
I think that's gonna bring it to an end.
I think so. So, as always, find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Radio Public, Spotify, Pocket Cast, and the RSS feed, all linked below. We also have YouTube, where we have a video platform. That video is also available on Spotify. And you can reach out to us via email, synapsemisfire@pm.me. Send us your comments, questions, concerns, and death threats. And then, as always, Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah, goodbye.